joining my channel. Today I'm going to talk about a different topic about my own personal experience because today I got my oil change, which isn't new. I do it all the time between two cars, me and my husband's car. So some issues I want to touch base about is when you have a car, I think that as a young adult, even a teenager, whenever you get your first car, you should know a few things about it. One is your tires, because you never know however good your tires are, however new they are, you'll never know when you might be in a state of emergency with your tires. For instance, a flat tire. If you get a flat tire, you're going to be stranded for a while. So in my opinion, I think, and my experiences, I think you should have a plan in the event that your tire goes out. If your tire goes out, one, either you change it, two, you call AAA, or three, you can call some friend or family member that can come help you change your tire. So for me, I've had 2 of the 3 experiences. One was I had to change my own tire fairly recently. I was like, okay, well, I know what to do. I'm pretty experienced. So I recommend being able to change your tire. Like if you're old enough, if you're smart enough, if you're experienced enough, go ahead, change your own tire. Number 2, find someone that you know in your area. Like if you're new to the area, make friends. I recommend having a buddy system, being able to check up on them. They can check up on you. Make sure you're okay mentally, especially with COVID and all. I know with that, some single people might just be like, nobody's gonna care if I'm no longer around. Or family members are too far away to check up on you. So there's that issue. Another one is if you're religious, go find a church, make friends, find someone who is reliable enough for you to be like, hey, do you mind either talking me through or walking me through how to change a tire? So I've had that happen before. I've had a tire pop because of nails, screws, glass. Just pops randomly because they're too old. I've had a tire pop because I got too close to the side and my tire just rolled off the wheel. So anything can happen, I promise you. Like, tires are really funny. But I recommend finding someone that can help you in that event. So, tires. I can talk all day about them. I really can. So another thing that I'd like to mention is because I got my oil changed today, I know that's something I can't do. So I do go to a car place that can do it for me. And it's worth it to me because I know I also live in an apartment, so there's no like ideal place for me to do it. So oil's just a different thing. But I recommend being able to know how to change your own windshield wipers in the event that your windshield wipers just give out one day and it's raining and you're like, I can't see anything. What do I do? You can change them. They're really easy to change in my opinion. So that's something that you yourself can teach yourself on YouTube, or you can go and just fiddle with your windshield wipers if you're brave enough to do that, because you're at risk of ruining them too. So be careful with what you do. I recommend looking at a video and make sure you pull them off the right way and change them. Find out which windshield wipers are best. Like there's premium kind, premium grade, there's regular grade, and then there's poor grades. I don't really know why they make poor grades, but I think they do in the case of an emergency. But I recommend, finding the right brand for you, the right windshield wiper for your car. And then, of course, because of your type of car, figure out what size, because they all come in different sizes. Windshield wipers also either come in pairs or just one, because obviously some cars have a back windshield wiper, and that's just one. So be careful whenever you do buy your windshield wipers. Sometimes they come in one instead of 2. If that's what you're trying to do. Anyway, another thing I recommend learning about your car is the air cabin filters. There's 2 of them. Sometimes you only need to change one. Sometimes you can just change both of them at the same time, so you know when to change them. So if you ever look inside your glove box, there's usually a little compartment, and I recommend, of course, researching about your car, going on YouTube and seeing how to open it up for your car, and then you can decide whether you think this is safe enough. And I say that because the first time I changed my air cabin filter, it was black and gross and full of leaves. And I'm like, okay, it's probably time for me to change my filter because I don't want to breathe that in while I'm driving. Because whatever goes in your car, there's 2 filters that it goes through. And if you smell some bad stuff, maybe your filters are not like as new as they could be. Maybe they could be newer and better. And again, there's premium grade and then there's regular grades. So I recommend finding the best brand, again, for your car, for your cabin, for your liking, and just switch them out. Mine, I have a small car, so a lot of my car parts and little extra accessories, these are pretty much accessories, they are cheap, in my opinion. They're cheaper than maybe if I had a Ford Escalade or something really big that I don't need right now in my life. Anyway, there are air cabin filters that you can easily replace there. And if you're really ambitious, you could go for the one that's under your hood. So there's another one. And I do believe that some brands of cars are easier to like replace certain parts. Like for instance, Toyota, in my opinion, are really easy to just like, I need to replace this, I need to replace that. They're cheap parts, they're easily accessible, which makes, shipping a lot more costly effective. So, think about things like that when you buy a car. But I believe that whenever you find out your parts, it's a lot easier in the long run of things. So, try to research about brands on parts too. Brands on cars, brands on parts. Anyway, yeah, I've kind of went on a long tangent, but I hope those 3 things are really easy for you to like figure out. I'll add on another thing. It's a air pump for your tires, because sometimes whenever it's, hot outside, you need to make sure your tires are okay with the air pressure outside whenever it's hot outside and then it gets cold, like in the winter right now. I mean, it's winter to me for this video because I'm wearing a Christmas shirt, and Christmas is in 5 days, so really excited. So maybe like if you're a mom or a dad and you care about your children, for maybe a great gift for Christmas, you could buy them this, and it's a air pump for their tires. And I know in my experience, you don't necessarily need it, like you don't need this, but it's handy to have for sure. You're able to fill up a tire if it's going flat because you might have a nail or a piece of glass. You can at least fill up the air in your tires for a while before you, like obviously it takes a while for you to get from point A to point B if you have a low tire. So I recommend having that because of you could fill up your air whenever it's getting cold from when it's hot. And then another example of being able to fill up your tire is if you do end up changing your tire, sometimes your spare tire is flat. So I recommend checking your I recommend checking your spare tires like maybe once a year, maybe every 6 months, maybe once a month if you're like really eager to know. But if you have a flat spare tire, you're not gonna go very far. So there's that. If you don't want to buy one of these things, you can go to like a gas station, a convenience store, Walmart. There is literally air in a can for tires, and what it does patch up a hole, because what it does, it sprays this latex maybe. It's really messy, which means you can't get your tire back after. It's just a patch. in a can, and it doesn't like fix the problem, it just masks it. So it does help in an event that you need to get to a tire place from your destination instead of just getting a tow truck. That's another thing. So another add-on is maybe finding out who your best tow trucks are. Find out the rates, find out, just as an emergency backup, maybe have it written out and put it in your glove box in the event that you're in the middle of nowhere. Or, I don't know, like, obviously there's AAA, but sometimes it takes a while. And maybe you're at home and you don't want to call AAA because you can just buy or like rent a tow truck for a lot cheaper than AAA. I don't really know the whole deal with AAA. I'm not trying to badmouth them, but I know that whenever I got a flat tire and I called them and I did have AAA, they said they were going to be 45 minutes. And I was like, I have a husband beside me. I will walk him through it. It's dark. It's raining. I don't have the muscle capacity to do this right now because I was driving like 4 hours. Like 4 hours is not a lot. For me, it's a lot. I'm really bad at driving. Not bad. I'm really bad at like driving for long periods of time. Like my limit is 4 hours before I need to like take a break. It's like really bad. I blame my parents. No, I'm joking. I'm really joking. But I do not do well when I drive for a long period of time. So I had my husband with me. We changed a tire. I told him what to do and what was going to happen if the scenario wasn't like perfect. So if he was like confused about something, I tell him this is the reason why, because I knew enough about it. So we changed my tire in 20 minutes instead of waiting an hour and a half for AAA to come find me on the highway. So that's why I recommend being able to change a tire. It saves time, it saves money, it saves so much of your life, and it's just good knowledge to have. So those are just some tips that I have for life experiences. Thank you so much for watching. I know I'm just really talking about my own life experiences, but I hope that this kind of influences my viewers, you, to do your own research about certain things that potentially could go wrong. So be careful out there. Driving is fun, but it's also not safe, and anything can happen from a wreck to a flat tire to falling asleep at the wheel. Don't do that. I'm sorry, guys. So I know that's not laughing matter, but all of these experiences are mine too. I've not fallen asleep, but getting drowsy at the wheel is not safe. It's not. I'll let you go now. Goodbye. Thank you for joining me.